And then Halloween is right before the election. Isn't that fun? Right before the election, which from all of the media reports should go off without a hitch. Should be very calm and peaceful. The media is literally going out every minute going, there's going to be civil unrest. There's going to be, what are we all preparing for? Voting's already started. It's mail-in voting. You can already vote. Trump's telling people to vote twice. Everybody, and I tweeted today, this is so much of a bigger problem than Trump. Trump is a big problem. He's not doing a good job. That being, that's putting it as mildly as I can put it for you psychopaths out there. They're like, no, no. So many people get mad at me when I say that. They're like, no. And here's the other thing. He doesn't like the military. Guys, you know he doesn't like the military. I think that article in The Atlantic should have been sourced, but you know he doesn't like the military. You know he doesn't respect people that wear uniforms for no money. I don't care what you do. Garbage man, anything. Yeah. He doesn't respect that. He does not like the military. He doesn't give a shit about first responders. He doesn't get it. In his own mind, he doesn't get it. He might not actively hate them. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it why a guy would wear a uniform and potentially die for a job that pays him $70,000 a year, maybe. And that's not even, that's like after you've been in for a while. He doesn't get that. You don't get Trump if you think he's perplexed. I think he's genuinely confused as to why anybody would do anything that doesn't net them a lot of money and the ability to fuck models and live in a mansion or live in a high-rise apartment. Like, he doesn't get it. It's just not his game, you see? It's not what he's into. He doesn't respect, like, EMTs, first response. It's not his thing. You think he really likes the military? By the way, do you really believe, when you put your head on the pillow, do you truly believe that Donald Trump understands, like, the sacrifices that servicemen and women make? Do you believe that? You don't believe Trump's a little confused? You don't think if he looked and goes, you're making $36,000 a year? What are you doing? Get out of here. You don't think he's a little perplexed by that? He doesn't get it. What does he do that's not for him? What has he ever done in his entire life that doesn't directly benefit him? Well, the presidency. I love that. People go, well, he's president and he's actually losing money being president. He's not. And also, there's some people that would argue being the leader of the free world's a benefit. Some people would say that that's a benefit. So he's not actually, it's not a selfless pursuit. You see? Controlling a nuclear arsenal, the world's, most powerful military, running, the economy, to the extent he wants to or can. That's not exactly a step down from where he was. So he doesn't like the military. It's just what it is. There's a great part in that Atlantic article. This is an article, if you don't know, came out in the Atlantic magazine. Jeffrey Goldberg, who's the editor of the Atlantic, some of their shit's fine that they write, and some of it I don't like. I think this should have been on the record, by the way. Fox News, though, did confirm a few high-ranking Trump administration officials that were on board with this. The military does not want him in. They do not want him in. So you can continue to like and love and support him. The military doesn't want him. They want people, they want recruitment numbers up, and the recruitment numbers aren't high if you're joining the military and you think you're going to fight your friend in the street. So when Trump says we're going to send the military in everywhere, you might agree with it. You might say we need law and order, but it doesn't exactly help. It doesn't drive recruitment numbers if you think you're going to be deployed on your streets fighting. Nobody really signs up for that. So the military, a lot of them are just not a fan of this guy. Some of them are. Some of them certainly are. But a lot of them aren't. And they know he doesn't respect what they do. They know that. And you know that if you think. Doesn't respect. Can you imagine explaining to Trump why you joined the military? Like, I believe that I'm making a sacrifice for other people's freedom. His eyes would glaze over in his head like you were speaking an alien language. By the way, my eyes almost glaze over in my head when you tell me that's why you're joining the military. I am a little like, what? I'm like, and by the way, I'm glad people do it, but after we know what the leaders of this country ask these people to do, I'm a little like, really? Like, I would understand much more if a guy goes, I love killing, I can't kill at home, I gotta kill abroad. And then I go, okay. He goes, I like violence, that's how I come. I enjoy making someone go bye-bye. And I know that that's not everyone in there. There's a lot of people in there that do believe in ideals, and that's great. But there's a few people in there, certainly a few. There's a couple of people in there that really just want to bathe themselves in blood. And I would understand that as an explanation almost a little more than somebody who's like, I just want to secure our freedom. And I go, okay, good for you. Again, I don't understand it either. So stop pretending that Trump understands it. Like, I barely understand. Let's be very honest. You don't understand it. And if you did, you'd be there. Unless you are in the military, and thank you for your service and everything. Whatever. I do thank you for your service. I mean, some of it I thank you for. Some of it I think we got to stop doing. I got to be honest. It's a half and half. Some of your service I say yes, and some of it I go, we can't do that anymore. It's a problem. But I don't understand. Do you understand it? Of all the jobs you could get, it's hard to understand, right? It's very hard to understand. I'm going to back up Trump here a little bit. It's a little difficult to understand. I'm kind of with him. If we were eating a steak on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and Donnie turned to me and goes, what the fuck are they doing? I'd go, yeah, I don't know. Donnie? Yeah, I don't really know. It's freedom and it's our freedom, and he'd go, thank God someone's doing it, and then we'd have a nice little cheesecake. I'm telling you, stop the fantasy that this guy is like some proud military historian who loves the military. It's just not what it is. I know we need a military. They need to be strong. They need to kick ass. Some of my fans are in it. I'm fucking happy they do it. I wish they had better civilian leadership. I wish the people in the military cared more. And I don't mean the rank and file. I mean the brass. And more so than even the brass, the politicians. Those are the problem. I wish they cared more about veterans.
Yes.
And I wish we had better veteran health care, mental health care, all of that shit. 100%. Okay? But let's just analyze. For example, let's just take a look at the decision. That level of selflessness, of bravery, in many cases, we're excluding now the sociopaths who just want to watch things blow up. We're saying the other people, that is hard to understand. I don't want to go to Iraq. I don't. It's a little difficult to grasp. And I know that we're all, everyone's horrified that Trump, but most guys that make millions and millions of dollars don't understand people that do anything, especially if it could kill them, for not a lot of money. They don't get it. But people get high on different things in life, right? Some people like danger, some people like risk, some people like physicality. They want to be out moving, they want to work with their hands. Some people want to sit behind a desk. I mean, all those Wall Street fucks, their risk is financial, primarily. Like, they're not putting their bodies in danger, but they're putting, they might be putting their family or their financial, their entire enterprise at risk all the time, depending on the decisions they make. And that could affect themselves, their company, their employees, but they don't put their body in danger. So it's hard to explain to guys like that why you would do a job that might get you killed. It's tough. When people become cop, I don't understand why anyone becomes a cop either. I don't get it. I get firemen because it's fun, because there aren't a lot of fires and they don't really do much, and they have these big meals in the firehouse. And the first guy I sucked off was a volunteer fireman. I don't even know, but it was after 9/11. He was trying to do it. I don't know if he ended up doing it or not, but he had a huge dick. And I always remember his dick, like all firemen have that dick, where it's like not insanely long, but fat, like a hose you could use. Now, I don't know what happened to that person. I assume he's dead. But I'm kidding, of course, about there not being fires. There are fires in Los Angeles all the time. There's so many fires, it's kind of embarrassing. Right. But everyone's like, are you donating to the firefighters? It's like, not really, because the fires come back every year. So we're at a certain point now where it's like, I just don't know if we're just throwing good money after bad here. It's like, guys, can you do a job or not? I mean, you do the job and then 2 weeks later, there's fires back. So I'm no expert, and yet I still think that's not really a good track record, okay? People are getting evacuated 3 or 4 or 5 times out of their fucking houses. But I understand that job. But if somebody tells me I'm going to be a beat cop, I'm just going to walk around. And we need them. We need people to do these jobs. But let's be a comedian. That's a great thing. Who the fuck can go explain that to someone? Yes, I'm going to work for 10 years and be broke and maybe even longer than that on the off chance that maybe I figure out how to be funny, and then an even slimmer chance that I can market that to people and make a living doing that. And it's a brutal process. So people don't understand that. No one understands anything really other than like, oh, you make money. Got a big house. So if I do the job that makes me, I get the house and the money and the car, I get that. But anything that you do that doesn't immediately net you financial results, nobody in America understands. I don't understand it. And I do one of those things. I spent a decade doing it. It was just like a weird calling. It was something I had to do. And maybe that is the military. But Trump doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand a calling. He doesn't understand like higher purpose or the idea that this is what you should do in your life. He doesn't get that. Everything's a game. He's a casino magnate. He's playing a game. And why play such a game that could kill you? Why play a game that could knock you out? And that's a fact. And that's just what it is. I understand, But it would have been nice if they sourced the article. I don't know. Maybe they will.